Out today to your satisfaction that Christianity were true, would you accept God's authority, repent of your sins, and trust Jesus as your King?
Hey, Jesus.
Hey, Zach. Surprised to hear from you.
Well, you know, I was kind of bored. I was just sat around. I was thinking of you.
Really?
Well, of course. I always am.
How's it going?
You still there?
Yeah, I was just blushing. Heart's gone all flutter.
I just wanted to say, you go first.
I love you.
I love you too. Hey, Jesus. Can I ask you something?
Of course, my son.
What are you doing?
You know, just revealing stuff.
You know, like, what are you wearing? Something revealing for revealing? Yeah.
I mean, you know me. Something light, some light and airy, simple white linen. How about you?
Yeah, just a cross.
Seems like my father being a carpenter has really taught me how to erect wood. Seems a breeze has really caught my linen. Really only being held on by the wood I have erected.
Really? Yeah. Jesus, I'm gonna sin to atone for pitch for touching myself.
Come unto me, my son.
For us it is okay.
Can you name the last 3 academic books you read by theists on the subject? Or is most of your understanding of apologetics and atheism from non-scholarly pop-level books and, let's face it, Bible passages?
Oh, hello. Word up, everyone. How y'all doing out in the void? I'm Zach. This is the Shaking Fist. It's Tuesday, so here's Jimmy Tux. Wrong way, that way.
Good afternoon. I'm still cracked up. I'm still cracked up from that intro.
Yes. Well, you know, me and Jesus really found each other that night.
I asked if you were doing an intro, and you were like, "Oh, just a couple of clips."
Hey, that's a clip from a video from a while ago. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness, I've never seen it before. I am a better man for it. Wearing something revealing for your revealing. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So it might be from one of Mr. B.S. Lewis's videos. The crying Braxton Hunter.
The crying Braxton Hunter is, yeah.
It's top. I need to put it in the fucking description. I need to link it in the description. I'll do that now. I was supposed to do it before and I forgot. Oh, it's so good, that video though.
That is an excellent video. Oh, I loved it.
It's the little quivering lip that gets me.
or Bible verses. The lip quiver.
Yeah. Oh, it's it tickles me every time. Wait, is this it?
It got my funny bone, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I love that. Revealing for your revealing.
There we go. I'll put it that should have. That's his video in the link in the chat though. On just a second, I'll put it in the description. So, are you ready to get? Today we're going to get through. We're going to end, and I'm promising everyone we're going to get through the end of the core today. Have you enjoyed strengthening your core?
My core, my tubby tub is definitely got strength in there. I don't know if it's on the core though.
Oh, it's fucking! I can't wait to get on to these facts. I'm sick of shitty arguments. So today we're not covering any shitty arguments, so that's fun.
Yeah. What are we covering today? We're covering E.
E is for experience.
Oh, I thought it was for intrusion. Oh, that begins with an I. Never mind.
I. Oh, so how I tried reading it before, and it's so bad.
Yeah.
Are you ready
Well-
for the worst chapter of this book?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You know, see, I've been writing a little fantasy novel. You know what I mean? I did a thing. I did a what's it called? I did a D&D game years ago. And
Hmm.
it's really, really good, and it deserves to be a proper story. So I started writing it in the story. And all the things I hear about the story is the middle is really the worst part, right? It's it gets soggy in the middle because you're just stretching things out. You don't really have anything to say. You're just waiting to get onto the climax. And I find that this book is very similar because this middle 9 pages is wow.
It always strikes me that anytime Matthew 7, I almost feel like Christians have never read Matthew 7 at all. So this will be interesting and fun, I'm sure. What's going on in the chats? Is this the last episode? It's true. Zach, you're muted. There we go. You're back.
Hello?
Yeah, now you're back.
Hey!
You're
It's my fucking dog. She's like,
your dog.
she's trying to like make me play with a toy, and she's
Sometimes we just get our homework eaten by our dog.
do you know that actually happened to me once, and that was a day.
I did have a scenario in which I could still bring it in, but I literally had a dog ate my homework type of scenario. But I could still bring it in. I was like, I did do it, and you can see that it's been kind of tattered in pieces, but I had done it prior. So I turned in, and I still got credit for it and everything.
Well, you got more than I did. I got detention for making up lies.
Mine wasn't consumed. It was eaten by the dog, but it was not consumed. It was like in 3 or 4 pieces with the corners kind of missing. Type of thing, if I remember correctly.
It was in tatters. It was in proper tatters.
Yeah.
So was a lot of things. The dog had gone crazy on a lot of papery things.
Yeah. That dog had chewed up like gold chain. Anything that was like on the edge of the table.
Yeah.
At any time, it would just be bored and just start, shredding it up.
See, the collie I've got now, she's so easily excitable, and she forgets that she has like a tail and legs, and she just starts going away, and she starts spinning around, whacking everything everywhere, knocking things off everything, because she's a fucking mental case.
Yeah. The core, funny enough, the core of my homework page was still intact. So if you start everything with a good, solid, clean sheet of paper, make your notes on it properly, sometimes the core remains. Good, strong, solid foundation. That's all you need is a good, solid, strong foundation. And then you're good.
I'm gonna make this. I'll smoke it and then we'll start. Because you know what? I've been being more sober for these streams.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes they might get a little technical. They might, you see, he might decide that he actually is a sciencey guy, and he might start talking about quantum physics.
I honestly don't know anything about quantum physics except
do you know what? That is
a few documentaries.
To have, because as far as I've always been told, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't. You don't understand.
Yes, that's my understanding of it as well. I've watched Nova. Documentaries. There's been about 5 or 6 documentaries in which it's been listed as future technologies and how it works and various things, and it's fascinating. It's not a computer like you would think of it. It's, in all honesty, it's kind of like when somebody tells me they were healed by crystals, it's almost like real invisible crystals are coming to heal us someday with quantum physics, if I had to pinpoint a description.
I mean, I don't know. We don't need, because like, so I've seen some of the things we can do with future medicine stuff where we don't need quantum. Fuck them. We've kind of learned how to regenerate, so kind of.
Yeah.
We figured out that we can do it, and we're making it bigger. So that's cool.
I see we got Dave and PC and Captive Desk. Dave's here.
Much
Trusty
better
Ape, tilting windmill. Who else is in here?
It's the usual.
And you and me.
Word. Holla.
And you and me.
Right.
And the bottle makes 3. Speaking of which, you're partaking of a little two-tree tokes there.
Oh, I had 1 or 2 talks there, yeah. But I've also got a wee drinky though. It's all right.
I did not grab anything, but I may change that here. Let's see how the first Corfax goes, and then that'll determine whether I'm interested in having a drinky poo.
Oh, you might. Well, I don't know, because I think this is where Braxton's gonna get. He's gonna get down with us, and he's gonna. I need my Dr. Pep. Just a second.
You need your doctor's hat? Is that what you said?
Well, I do, but no. Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Dr. Pepper. Got it. Last Frybender. It's good to see you. We got a pretty good crowd today.
Say again.
I'm loving the crowd today. We've got some of my favorites in the chat today.
There's a little whiskey tip for anybody who likes whiskey and who likes mixing whiskeys. Fuck Coke. Dr. Pepper mixes better in 9 out of 10 whiskeys.
Actually,
it actually brings out the flavors more. It's fucking amazing. It's mental. As long as it's not smoky. If it's smoky, doesn't go with Dr. Pepper in the slightest.
Interesting.
Bourbon's really nice with it. Scotch is really nice with it. I mean, Irish is dead with everything, including itself, but
That's funny. I prefer whiskey with my whiskey.
See, I prefer making my whiskey last, because if I was just to drink it straight, it would go. Mm-hmm. So I put stuff with it to make it last long.
I do enjoy cider and whiskey, though. Actual pressed cider, not a spirit cider.
Right. Yeah, so American cider.
One of my favorite things is this is called Stillhouse Black Bourbon.
Yeah.
And this is really good with coffee and good with cider and good with like lemonades and stuff like that.
I could imagine whiskey going nice with it with apple.
Yeah, it's really good. Warm or cold. I like it either way.
I'd say I was drinking something nice, but I'm poor and I'm drinking White and Mackay, and it's just it's actually a halfway decent, bottom shelf. I started finding out, right, that certain whiskeys, when you see like shit whiskey, so we get one over here. I think it's like I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's like Imperial Stag or something shit, right? And it's you look at it, it's the cheapest fucking bullshit whiskey, right? But actually, it's amazing. It's a 7-year-old Glendronach and a 7-year-old Loch Lomond mixed together, and it's like what? Yeah. What? So many budget whiskeys are made by big whiskey companies, and if you could, and yes, there are shit small whiskeys, cheap whiskeys, right? But also there are some that taste a little shit, but actually have the best whiskey breeds behind them. It's fucking mental. So
interesting.
I've actually started finding like Claymore's one of them that's really nice.
Claymore's I've had. Yeah,
like because that's actually like a fucking Dalmore or some shit like that. I can't. It's ridiculous. Some of these cheap ass whiskeys have actually.
I have an Irish really here.
Really, like you have to dig because they don't like to tell you.
I have a Teeling.
I don't see. I like Irish whiskey, but I think all of them taste exactly the same.
Yeah, unless they've got there's a couple of aged ones that have some peatiness to them.
Yeah, well, it's because of how they're aged. Sorry, it's because
Yeah.
they're all made the same. It's the pot stills. It's the copper pot. Is that the Irish one? They're all made in the same way, and because they're all made in the same way, they're all the same.
They all taste the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a Powers
like
versus Patty's is not that much difference, but I do enjoy a Patty's. The easy drink of Patty's is good. Jameson is the most popular over here.
Well, Jameson's like that everywhere because it's cheap.
It's well marketed.
Yeah. So, but I think I'm lucky because I live in England and I'm connected to Scotland. So fucking we get cheap ass Scotch for things that it should be better.
Does England have a whiskey much like the?
England does make whiskey, but it's shit and it's not very often.
Okay.
Like the Welsh do as well, but it's because it was always a Celt thing. Because like the Irish used to do it, and then because everyone in Ireland used to have a pot still in their house. Everyone used to make their own.
I see. Interesting.
It's like, and then when they started moving to America, that's why we started putting shit in barrels, and we started realizing because they used to put just in whatever barrel, and then they started actually going, no, it tastes really nice in that one, so we'll only do it in that, and we'll only do it with that type and fucking stuff like that. So like barrel aging came about by transporting shit to America.
Well, that's brilliant. That makes sense.
Do you know what?
I don't feel I need to fact check that.
I could talk whiskey all day. I love whiskey. I wanted to be a whiskey sommelier, but then it's really expensive to get into. So no.
Your return on investment just isn't worth it. You might as well just get drunk instead.
Hey, it fucking is over here. People pay fucking 150 quid for you to give them 5 whiskeys and talk about it for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
Well, that's what a whiskey sommelier is. You just take them. People like and even people will even fucking what's it called? People will even like pay you to come and then supply the whiskey themselves, and then you get to drink with them, and you go, and then you smell it. You teach them how to taste it properly, and then you get paid, and you go home, and then you have some more whiskey.
All right.
But do you know, I could talk about whiskey all day. But do you think Braxton can even spell quantum physics?
Is it spelled with a Q?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he can. I think he can get it.
I suppose he is the head of a fake university that his father gave him.
So. It's not fake. It's genuine imitation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So let's get on to this thing. E is for experience. People can have an immediate experience of God. Are y'all ready, folks? Y'all ready? Because fucking, you're ready for personal experiences? Isn't personal experience just the best fucking thing ever?
I feel like we need a Slim Jim commercial with a wrestling monitor there. Are you ready? Get ready.
I've got a really good Jesus one that I keep on forgetting to cut out.
Oh boy!
Shouting Jesus in the best way. Jesus.
Right. I think your blasphemer is that one's my favorite. I think so far. The first time you played that one, the timing was impeccable.
I just need to sit down and practice with this fucking thing one of these days because I've got so much shit here. So let's get ready.
Get ready.
Buckle up, buckaroo.
This is evidence that there is no heaven. And
what's South Park?
It's one South Park, and I'm laughing at destruction and death and the disfiguration of a cartoon human. And here's the thing. My dad always used to say when I was a kid, there is no heaven. For where there is laughter, there is pain. And there's no pain in heaven.
Yeah. Right, like John Cleese said, some like the best comedy is black comedy, and it always has been black comedy and gallows humor because of the nature of comedy in itself. So he was talking about his film Fish Called Wanda, and he said, fucking, we kept on killing the dogs because it makes people laugh more because people get worried. They get worried about the dogs dying, and then when the dogs die, they laugh, and they laugh so much harder. Not just because they find it funny, but also because they feel relief from the tension that's been created. So you get a little bit of extra because you need suffering to make people laugh. It's mental.
Yeah, Michael Palin's stutter and performance in that scene,
it's so good.
Oh, it's just so good.
Do you know what? I think Michael Palin also thought that, and he just went around touring the rest of the world, not acting. He just went, nope, that's me peaked. I've peaked there. I'm just going to go visit Sahara and the rest of the world.
I just remember when that was in theaters and seeing the poster and thinking, that's a stupid looking movie. And then I saw it. I can't remember what I went to go see instead of Fish Called Wanda. And then when I saw Fish Called Wanda, I was like, this is the best movie ever.
I love that, but I prefer Fierce Creatures, to be honest.
Fierce Creatures, yeah, I think I've seen that once or twice. I don't think it was my favorite movie ever.
No, it's not my favorite movie ever, but I mean, like, because it's the same people as Fish Called Wanda. So I always count them as like a parent film.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I've seen a clip or two here and there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while it gets played.
So let's zoom through this because it's personal experience. And immediate experience. It's not even personal experience. It's immediate experience. It means it can happen right now.
People can have an immediate experience of God.
Right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Right now.
I mean,
now. I mean, come on. I wish, one of these days, maybe I need to wiggle my nose like in Bewitched.
Just soften.
Nod like I Dream of Jeannie. One of these days it'll work. I've tried different ways.
Just soften your cold, dead heart.
Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you. You had a complaint about Matthew 7 that I interrupted.
Matthew 7:7. Yes. A chapter that starts with complaining about one of you ain't going to be able to see because there's a speck, and one of you ain't going to be able to see because there's a log or a beam. And then you can't tell which one is which. You have to decipher for yourself. And seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given to you. It's really hard to get through the camel's eye, by the way. And then my favorite part is that there's false teachers, false prophets, ravenous wolves in sheep's clothing. You will know them by their fruits. And then there's judgment day. And then you need to make sure you have a nice solid foundation at the end of the sermon. Oh, by the way, when I was building the sermon, I meant to put the foundation right under all of it.
Yeah.
There you go. Matthew 7. You're welcome.
I always love that Eye of a Needle line because fucking so many people try and make rich people all right. No, hey, wait, it's not an actual eye.
Actually, it's not the Eye of the Needle one. It's the path is narrow and broad is the way. But it's the same parable.
Yeah, but I'm going to say it anyway because I'd already started. But how many of these, like, the more richer people try and go, but hey, no, what it means is that, like, the eye of a needle wasn't like an actual needle. It was like a gate that was like really narrow that you could only walk through. And, so really, it wasn't that hard for a camel to get through an eye of a needle. So, rich people could get into heaven. Don't worry about
it. I just don't believe I've seen any evidence that heaven exists to be sent there.
I mean, I did. So one day when I was hiking, when I was hiking down one Appalachian trail, and you can look up at the night sky, and do you know what you see in the night sky?
I know really exactly what you're about to say.
The Milky fucking Way. You see the rest of the fucking galaxy, right? So,
Yeah.
do you know what? Yes. I've seen the heaven, because that's totally what people used to think when they look up. They see
Yeah.
the Milky Way. And they
Trail
go,
TV is
Heaven.
what that's usually called.
Yeah.
Some variation of trail TV.
Yeah.
And yes, there's
But like, I think because we've figured out so much of how things work, that people really don't think the same way we used to. So a lot of the mystique of stuff is gone. But in a proper way, where like people used to look at the stars and see like things. Do you know what I mean? Instead of just like, those are burning plasma balls very far away.
Right.
Well,
and there's so many, and there's, when you're in the main sky, you can see like 8 billion
yeah.
or so. I don't even know how many you can see. It almost looks like you're looking at metallic paint.
So like, when people are thinking
erotic asphyxiation. Yeah, that would save my eternity then.
So, introduction. Let's get through this, because it's only
Let's get going.
Chapter.
Yeah.
How much can we really say about personal experience, right?
Yes.
While the previous 3 chapters represent arguments for God's existence, what will be discussed here is more of an more of an invitation. Oh, Jesus.
More of an invitation to realize and accept the united implication these arguments make. That is to say, if God
exists... If you
exists,
found out today, to your satisfaction, that Christianity were true, would you accept God's authority, repent of your sins, and trust Jesus as your king?
Just going to warn you, Tubbs, right now, that's going to happen a lot today.
And we're going to get through this in one sitting, right?
Yep. Come on.
If God exists, as I believe these arguments demonstrate that he does, then this means something incredibly relevant for the citizens of the world. Ultimately, it means that there is not out of the question that we may have an immediate and personal experience of God. I did not pronounce it all caps.
Yeah, see, that's you gotta read it properly. See, when you read a lot of Discworld, you learn to read in capitals, because that's how Death talks. Except he doesn't talk by shouting. He is Death, and he has the sound of coffin lids opening and closing underground about a mile deep. So that's different, but go on.
Such an experience further testifies to, and for the individual who experiences him, makes certain his existence. Clearly, this sort of knowledge of God is a part of one's own personal, subjective, conscious experience and not available as a proof to unbelievers of the world. It's very true. I agree fully with Braxton here.
So why is it that Christians say things like this, and then you go, hey, all I want is Jesus to like turn up and just say, "You all right, Matt? How you doing?" And they go, "You wouldn't even believe anyway. Like, shut the fuck up." Like, I love how it's, if they lead you to it, right, then it's cool and it's better, right? And if you come to it on your own and you have if you're asking for some kind of experience on your own without their help, like, you wouldn't even believe it anyway. Like, why are you asking? You just, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Is it more because they want to claim some kind of like ownership over like you converting? Do you know what I mean?
It has no effect on me. I don't know what the other person is experiencing.
No, but I mean about like because I say to them, "Hey, I want God to just turn up and say hello," and they go, "Hey, are you really that conceited to think that God will just turn up for you?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, he turns up for other Christians, doesn't he?
Well, I've had a theophany, but I didn't. I kind of thought it was from God, but I also was trying to figure out what it was, and I didn't get a selfie, so I didn't.
Yeah, but everybody knows that you can't take pictures of God. He's like a vampire. He doesn't have a reflection.
Okay. All right. That's yeah. He might. However, anyone open to the possibility that God exists can intimately, love is in the air, know
Hey.
him.
Jesus? Hey, Zach.
Wearing something revealing for you revealing. I love that line.
Yeah.
That one's gonna stick with me for a while.
I think my favorite one for me is Jesus going, it seems my dad being a carpenter has really taught me how to erect wood.
Intimately know him by allowing him to speak through their hearts, speak to their heart, as countless others have through the ages.
Core moment.
Core moment.
Do you think they're going to turn into fact moments?
Any day now. This one is easy. We'll talk about some interesting and important things, but E is just about an invitation to experience God right now as countless other people have. This is especially important as we prepare to begin looking at Jesus in the next chapter.
Why? What the fuck? Do you know what? I have a bone to pick with this fucking book. Of course I do. Why is it that this fucker can only make one of the letters actually mean the thing he's talking about?
Yeah, that's true.
It is for experience, but also it's actually more of just an invitation, which
Here's
is
my arguments. I think they're really good arguments, and they make a God obvious, in my opinion, but not necessarily my God. But now that we're on the subject of not my God, here's my God. And he loves you. And as long as you're open to being in love with him, then it'll be mutual.
God, and he loves you. He just needs money.
Just needs money. The prevalence of a theistic experience.
Hey! Sorry.
Hey.
I felt like I should cheer because, you know, if it's prevailing, then the wind goes that way. All right, I'll read throughout the history of the world, the vast majority of humanity has believed in the existence of a god or gods. So why don't you?
Yeah.
One is hard pressed to ever locate a community of people who do not have some kind of monotheistic or polytheistic belief. What makes this more interesting is that even in those tribes or cultures where polytheistic beliefs are prevalent, closer investigation almost always reveals that they too are actually monotheistic in a certain sense. Do you know? I always love how much Christians always boiled everything down to, well, you just agree with me anyway. I know that these tribes, they're all polytheistic, and they might favor one god over other ones, and they might have one god that sits above all. So really, when you look at it, it's just like us. So and there's a lot of them. Have you seen how many people have believed in God? Are you saying that you know better than all of those people?
I don't know better than all those people, but I have a pretty good adventure to guess.
I'm actually more certain about this. So I'd say yes, I know more on the subject than a lot of those people, because
of the people who have read the Bible, of those number.
Hey, that's not fair, because out of the people that have read the Bible, that's not most Christians.
That's not most Christians.
They read certain verses, certain chapters. They're like, we were speaking of whiskey selections before and whiskey tastings. They are the Bible tasters of life, right? Where, they sample a line here, they sample a line there. Have you seen this line? It's been kept in on a port barrel. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really give a shit. Most people don't actually give a shit about most of the Bible because they know that actually most of the Bible's fucked. So they just go. They're like Japanese people eating really deadly blowfish. I'll just have this little sliver here. You know what I mean?
I'm not familiar with the Japanese eating blowfish, but now that I have heard it, maybe I should be more interested. Speaking of eating deadly blowfish, I watched David Attenborough's National Geographic documentary on the oceans yesterday.
Yes. Wait. I can't play it in the background. Fair enough. Go on.
So he basically said, "Stop going to sushi places. You're ruining us.
Yes.
we gotta designate more oceans to free zones or something like that." And
Yeah, because like the oceans are like the only thing that keeps the Earth working. For us.
yeah,
So, and we fuck it a lot because we got
Yeah.
really big. We got really big and really blue. So if I just dump a bunch of stuff in there, or if I catch a little bit of this and a little bit of that, well, then if everybody does it, we won't notice it because it's really big, right?
yeah.
So we'll
So,
never run out of fish.
well,
Ever.
I can see how the industrial scale of fishing has, like, it's.
See,
I mean, it's
not
a
even-
propaganda piece. I know, but it's still
not,
effective.
The problem is, it's not even. He's not even talking about exactly why it's fucked, and it's not even. It's not even why you think, right? Maybe it's
Yeah.
different in America, but over here, most of it is because the fucking morons won't let you sell most of your fish.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the fish goes to waste because they have quotas. So, like, oh, you don't know what you're catching when you're trawling, and then you come up and you're like, well, you've caught too much of this already. All that fish goes to waste, all of it, because it's already dead, and they don't sell it. It's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite the industry. So one of these days we'll probably get this figured out with quantum computing,
See,
and we'll be saved eventually.
We've got.
Or Jesus will come back, and then I'll be proven right or wrong.
Hey, if Jesus comes back, well, then we'll be fine, so it doesn't matter. But until then, we have lab-grown meat, and that will solve a lot of problems on that front.
Yeah, vegetable grown.
The fish. Fuck growing them. Because we don't farm them. We'll just print them out. The future's mental. If only we can get there.
Dude.
So where was I? While they, in a certain sense, while they do believe in a multitude of supernatural beings that we might refer to as gods, they also maintain a belief that there is one ultimate creator who has the genesis of even those lesser gods. So, because they have a god, they have a king of gods. It's exactly like ours.
They do. The king of gods.
This is noteworthy because it shows.
Don't say.
This is noteworthy because it shows that the vast majority of the human race has held to the truth that there is one creator who is the rightful object of our worship. Moreover, people in every culture claim to have had experiences with him. You see? So, God turns up to everyone, right? And if they interpret it as a different God, well, Yahweh goes, uh-oh, sorry. I just affirmed their faith in a different religion.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. It's almost like an all-knowing being that can, because this Braxton Cunter here, he's a Molinist. Do you know what a Molinist is?
You know what? I tried to forget. I've watched this Church of Christ preacher, which I was raised Church of Christ, argue about Molinism, and it just pull my brain out and just throw it in the blender, please.
So for everyone else that is not sick to the teeth of hearing shit like that, speaking out, actually, I have something to plug in a second. I forgot to plug it earlier. So Molinism, for those that don't know, is where people go, do you know what? God makes everyone equal in souls, and then you just like do your stuff with free will, and then God's like Batman and just figures out everything. So he doesn't even like he's not even all knowing. He just like knows you the best, so he can like figure it out. He's like, that meme of Charlie Day with the he's like and all the strings and the papers on the wall and everything. It's like God about you. Such a weird thing. But God should know that like God should use his Batman powers, shouldn't he, to figure out that actually, if you appear on so it should be a TV show. Everyone hates Molinists.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
it's everyone's favorite neighbor, Molinist.
Yeah. Stay on the other side of the fence, hidden, like Wilson.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't even talk to us, Heidi Ho neighbor.
Hey, that's the best side character ever.
That is.
I always think it's funny that Tim Allen, because he's all conservative and shit, actually made what's his fate Wilson to make fun of like liberals, and then
did he?
yeah, because he's supposed to be like the weirdo, goofy guy that's always doing like weird tribe shit for no reason, even though he knows it's not real, and you're supposed to think of him as wacky. But then it's like, oh, he uses all of his worldly knowledge to fix all of your problems all the time. Cool.
Cool. That's funny.
Core moment. The material here is a little different. Instead of an unbeatable argument for God's existence, did you enjoy those 3 other unbeatable arguments?
Yes.
The rules argument.
They were arguments.
Argument and the order argument. Order. It's the unbeatable arguments for God. Do you know? That's what I like. And then he's like, I don't get why people think I'm smug. I've just presented the same arguments that everyone else does, and they're unbeatable.
Yeah. Arguments aren't evidence.
They are to Christians because they don't have any actual evidence, so they have to cling to whatever they can. I'm talking about these claims of experiences of God to show that it is not reasonable to remain open to such an experience. If the vast majority of the people of the world throughout history think they have experienced God, then it seems silly not to remain open-minded about such an experience.
That is a mouthful of nothing.
Hey, we're talking to Braxton Cunt here, of course it is.
Unbeatable equals unfalsifiable. That is correct. That is correct, BS.
And Christians have learned this up and down the land, and they think that they win all the things because they go, well, you haven't argued against the argument the way I want you to. And it's like, so? It's like right now I'm trying to talk to this Christian guy. I'm trying to get him to come on because he's like, let's talk about proof. And I'm like, all right, then I want to talk about the evidence of the historical claims of the Bible. And he's like, oh, well, actually, I don't really want to talk about historical claims and evidence. I like to talk about why people think things. And it's like, really?
Why
really?
People think
you want to
things?
make claims about people not having evidence, and I have tons. We don't care, right? Yeah, fair enough. It's fine because these people want you to only argue in arguments because they have no proof, they have no evidence, they haven't got word fucking one of anything. They've just got some wordplay and syllogisms that they think they can bash you over the head with, and they think that they have all the comebacks to. So it means they win.
We win.
Oh, I raised you didn't see my hand raised though, because it's too far away. It's fucking, so out of all the arguments for God throughout all time, right? The last one we're going to get to is, well, come on. Lots of people have experienced God, bro.
It's true.
Like, why? Why don't you believe him? And it's like, I don't know, psychology. How about that? He complained that I try and psychologize things, and it's like, I don't know. It's almost like I have like a college education in psychology.
So
I'm in British college, so it's different. It's not university, but I still have some kind of training, and it's almost like I know some stuff about psychology. And you can make people feel this shit all the time. It's one of the things I love about Darren Brown. Anybody who hasn't watched Darren Brown after this is done should go watch all the
Darren Brown.
Darren Brown
Absolutely.
is the best. But Darren Brown is like the modern day Houdini minus the magic, except he does some magic. He loves showing people how you can fuck with people and like exactly how you can make certain things happen and all sorts. And he's really good at it, like stupidly good.
So there's an evangelical dark underbelly of Christianity.
Yes.
And they have a term called snapping. And this is a method in which they get you in usually a vulnerable position. Not always, but most of the time it's in a vulnerable position. A lot of times they'll do this with youth groups, deprive them of sleep, hype them up on sugar, bring them down through their methods and music, and then do the altar call. And they have a technique in which they will make you feel something. And that is called snapping, or it's its affectionate term.
Sounds like that Jesus Camp movie.
Jesus, what movie?
Jesus Camp.
Oh, Jesus Camp. Yes. I think you could see, when they're bringing them to emotionally the brink.
Yeah.
And then throwing them there, bringing them to the dark place, and then bringing them back with a life jacket.
There's a 1972 film called Marjo, M-A-R Joe. It's because it's like this. It was this kid called Marjo Gortner, and like it was supposed to be like Mary and Joseph because his parents were fucking Christian grifters, so they made him be a child evangelist, and he'd go out and he'd do the tent, the tent revivals and all that stupid shit. And then he found out when he grew older that his parents had stolen all of his money that they'd raised because it was all a grift, and fucking they were just doing it for themselves and they didn't leave him anything. So then he made this film Marjo where he went, I'm coming back into the scene. I'm coming back. I've not done it for years. I'm doing this revival. And he took a documentary film crew with him and he showed him exactly how you do everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. It was so good. He's like, no, this is when you raise the music to make him feel this. And then when you see the first woman faint, you make a little, you scratch your nose or you do a thing or whatever. And then the plates go around. Because you wait for the start of exaltation. These people have it down to a fucking science of exactly how to work you into fervors, and then make you feel things. It's like everybody has little stories or knows people about stories about. I was a teenager and we all got together and we all said things into a mirror. Did the stupid teenager ghost shit that people do, right? But the thing is the human mind works as such that you can work it into such a state that it will see things because you've encouraged it to. And we could do that with ghosts. We could do it with religion. We can do it with all sorts.
Yeah, there's a stadium revival of Benny Hinn casting out a devil of this woman, and it's about a 13-minute clip if I remember correctly. And I put it on and I was just like, watch them work their magic here. Watch them raise and lower the choir. Watch them just almost like the master of ceremonies and the symphony's
conductor,
maestro, just performing. It's just a good performance. But when you're there and you've gotten heightened anticipation and you believe that miracles are taking place and that you're hoping for your miracle to come, well, you're hoping that it's real.
Yes. And like, even if people will join in because other people are doing it and they don't want to feel left out. There's all sorts of, like, there's even the thing of like how they get, not hypnosis? Yeah, hypnosis on people, and because people aren't really hypnotized. They just don't want to. They're called up on a stage and don't want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they do things that they wouldn't normally do, and they go, "I don't know," because they don't want everyone laughing at them. Like, there's all sorts of ways that this shit can happen, and depending on your preacher, depending on your religious denomination, like, it can be done in all sorts of ways. That's why these fucking crazy Appalachian fuckers will go around with fucking snakes and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then everybody in the crowd goes, oh,
yeah. Somebody pointed out that you can do Google searches on latest snake handler bitten, and dies or something like that. That they're all over the place. There was one that I stopped paying attention to stuff like that once upon a time when there was one that died, and they investigated the refrigerator that normally they store the snakes in prior to handling them had broken, and they knew about it, and they went and handled them anyway. And I was like, oh, so that's the secret. That's how this works.
See, I used to keep up with it more just because I had more time. I revel in that shit. Every time I see one of those people die, I go, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. Like
Warm fuzzy.
It does. It's great. I love it. It's a real nice feeling. I wish would happen more. So let's go. So narrowing our gaze further, it is common for atheists to point out that even amongst the dominant monotheistic religions of the world, there is such a great difference of belief that no one can be expected to believe any of them. After all, Christian, Jews, and Muslims believe in very, very different creators. I know they're all Yahweh, but they're very different. Okay, they're very different. Because the gods are the same, but they're different, very different. Don't worry about it.
Are they very different?
No, not that. No, not really. Muslims are more different than the other two, but they are. It is most definitely Yahweh. Like they just separated Ishmael, don't they? No, literally, they go. No, they go. We're like Abraham's illegitimate son, Ishmael. We come from them. So, because like they forget that. So Christians piggyback off the Jews because, well, Jesus and Paul. So it's totally different. And then Muhammad went, hey, by the way, I really don't want to pay these taxes in Mecca anymore. So these Jews in Medina are letting me stay here. Why don't I make a religion based around them?
Yeah, that's
waged holy war and won. So,
that'll get it done.
Yeah. While I actually agree with this in the most important sense, as a Christian, I do not believe that the God described by Islam exists. But I don't believe the God of the Jews can be reached without Jesus. I know Jesus isn't mentioned in the Old Testament at all. Even the quotes that we have about him are a stretch. Do you see that young woman who's going to give birth? She's going to give birth. And before the baby's very old, the kingdom of Assyria is going to save us. It means Jesus. It says the kingdom of Assyria. No. It just mistranslated as Jesus. You see, it's actually Jesus in the language that you can't read. I just made it up, and it's totally. It's not that. It's not these. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he has to. If Jesus fulfilled so much prophecy. But one of the frustrating things that I find is it's not so much that Jesus fulfilled prophecy, it's that the writers and authors were using what they thought was the word of God and just kind of repurposing it to Jesus. And so it looks like they were divinely inspired because
they wrote it afterwards, so it was definitely divinely inspired.
Divinely inspired by the divinely inspired.
And of course, it's always going to come afterwards, but it's like, we have no proof for any of it, but it definitely happened, and it's definitely based off this other stuff that we also have no proof that it happened. But that guy that we have no proof of said that this other guy we have no proof of. It's like, okay. We'll get to the facts and we'll find out that Jesus is real. It's fine. And then we'll have to believe. So we should already be opening ourselves up to personal experience. Do you not want Jesus to come inside you?
I'm on the stage. And I think it's back. It is back, Zach.
That's back. Word. Right, I'm going to have to bring that thingy back up. Hello.
Technical difficulties brought to you by your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Defending against. No? Oh.
Jesus might smite us, but we'll prevail.
So there we go. All right.
I have to. Why is this not showing up on the thing? Yeah, I've clicked the wrong one. That's why.
That's a problem.
I'm so bad at technology.
All right. How about I think I start here. I think naturally. One may be skeptical as to whether anyone has ever actually made contact with the seemingly elusive being, but they are in the minority. I admit that the majority has been wrong in the past.
Stop.
No.
No. Well, I was having it froze, so I'm going to have to go back a bit, aren't I?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't know when they So when did it freeze for people?
Let's see. It's back front. BS. Let's see.
Oh, it's still. I have to put it up on the screen. That would probably help. Winner.
Oh, I'm full screen.
You were, yeah. It's come inside you. All right then.
Okay.
Oh, that's the best place that it could have possibly fucking. That's the best place that it could have froze.
Narrowing.
Inside you? Nothing.
So we were done with the core facts, and we were partially through, I think.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I do find it interesting that all three of these religions claim that the God of Abraham, is the one true God. Christianity affirms the Old Testament and Islam, and the Old Testament and Islam, false as it is purported to have the answer to the Judeo-Christian story. Thus, the three dominant monotheistic religions in the history of all of the world all claim that the God of the Old Testament exists. I know that he said that none of the core facts, right? I said core facts. That none of the core and the core arguments was going to be for his God. Funny how this one is, though, isn't it? So he couldn't even tell the truth about that.
Couldn't.
It's great, isn't it? So he got all up in arms about that as well in his little fucking I'm pissy stream, and he was lying. He was lying the entire time. Because the E is actually experience his God. Because have you seen how many people believe in his God?
Yeah, I've seen how many believe in his God, and
well, they wouldn't all be wrong, would they? I mean, they believe it in thirds. There's a third that are Christian. There's a third that are Muslim, and I mean, there's not a third in number, but the third religion is definitely Judaism.
When I finally come out with my next video, there are so many points of interest in this chapter to the video that I've got coming out. So
yeah, you'll have to get it done.
I know. I meant to work on it today, and I haven't. I was cooking the dog's food right before he got on.
That reminds me, I was supposed to plug something before, and I forgot.
Uh-oh. You know, BS's latest video was pretty good. And by the way, when you were on with him, your audio was fantastic.
Thank you.
Like you always sound like you were in a room when this, but it sounded like you were on broadcast voice.
I was drunk.
You were drunk.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So the thing I was going to plug.
And I'm reasonably sober.
Right, where's my thing? I've clicked the wrong thing. I've got to. So I, on Thursday of last week, might have helped facilitate an interview between one Michael Beverly and one Braxton Hunter.
Oh.
So on Michael Beverly's channel coming up soon, that is the thing that you should look forward to.
I will.
Between one Braxton Hunter and one Michael Beverly.
Wow.
That I helped facilitate because I'm such a nice chap that I do such things.
BS. BS. It's, you know what? I'm going to wait another 10 years. Don't you worry.
Fair enough. I'll finish then. Yeah.
I'll finish. I'll get
I
it
was in the
finished.
middle
Just
of
you
trying
wait
to
and see.
do something, so.
The slides, I think, are finished, and the animations are finished, and I think I'll have another rough cut out about middle of next week, and hopefully this is. I'll have it uploaded around July 1st. Is where I'm at right now.
Cool.
So I'm waiting on. I've gone down this rabbit hole on something, and I haven't decided whether I'm putting it in there yet. I might just make it another video someday. We'll see.
I mean, I was literally in the middle of a plug when you started that, so cheers.
Well, I was responding to BS's comment.
At least waited until I was out
Michael Beverly and Braxton Hunter, facilitated by one Zach a shaken fist.
I mean, it's definitely more than that, so you should look out for it because I was trying to lead into it before I was interrupted. Am I sitting in the interview? Yes, that was what I was leading to. I am also going to be in this.
You'll be all in it also?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I'm a moderating force, one would say.
Oh boy.
So
you realize you can't go off on him if you're the moderator. Is that why you took that position?
You know, I think the video will speak for itself. I was trying to talk about it, so I'll just let the video speak for itself when it comes out.
Oh, it's already been recorded and just in the editing phase.
That's what I was literally in the middle of talking about.
Oh, yeah. And I interrupted.
It was recorded on Thursday. It's done.
Well, I thought you were talking about this Thursday, but no, this is done.
No, it's done. It's in the bag.
Here. I've got my knuckles here. I will not do.
I know what happened.
You will not do that again, young man. Jimmy talks.
I know what happened. It's fun. Things, it got heated.
Are you editing it, or is Michael?
It's Mr. Beverly's video.
Mr. Beverly's video. Okay.
He's editing it. But if it goes over well enough, then I'm going to try and facilitate more of these interviews in the future.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know exactly when it's coming out because he hasn't told me yet. But it should be good. So if there's any other interviewers you want interviewed, any other Christian apologists you might want to, let me know and I'll see what I can do.
All right.
I'm a man of many means.
Okay. Do you think you get Jesus Christ?
I mean, I'm getting him for a music video.
Anything revealing for you revealing.
I'm going to make a longer version of that. It's going to be a part series.
I feel so dirty watching that.
It's good shit.
It's good shit.
Hey, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty.
Jesus, man.
Roll credits. Roll credits.
Well, when he comes in your ass, you definitely look at life a little differently. You know what I mean?
Oh boy. So that's what you meant by experience.
You really got to experience him. You got to wash his feet. You know what I mean?
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
All right.
This streaming site's shit.
Wow.
I mean,
I wanted that. It just wasn't. I clicked it 4 times. 4 times. And I'm like, no, whatever. So.
All right.
You carry on. Naturally,
one may be skeptical as to whether anyone has ever actually made contact with the seemingly elusive being, but they are in the minority. I admit that the majority.
That's a fact.
It's a fact. Yes. I admit that the majority has been wrong in the past about a great many things. Yet, having already discussed 3 powerful arguments of God's existence, It seems
All you
likely.
need is 3 powerful arguments for God's existence.
That's
No
right.
more, no
No more.
less.
3. That's all you need.
3 is the correct number. 4
Yes.
is too much. 5 is outright.
I've been bathed in God's love, and I love it. It seems likely to me that many of the experiences are valid. Anyone who questions them in light of arguments presented in this book may be engaging in exasperated skepticism. Well, color me pretty.
No, if you aren't agreeing with me yet, then how aren't you exasperated with all of your efforts?
I
How dare
know.
you?
Just call me the exasperated skepticism.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love how often in this book he's been like, if you haven't, why aren't you believing yet? Like, come on, you fucking moron, you fucking idiot. Why aren't you believing this shit? I've already given you 3 arguments. You've read, what we on? You've read like 50 pages of this book and 50 pages of talking about 3 arguments. Why haven't you believed yet? Like, isn't 3 enough? Do I need to give more? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's why I played that Pine Creek clip the first time.
Yeah.
It's like, you just sit back, relax. I'm not going to show you anything. I'm just going to argue about it. Oh, my cigar went out.
It's still real to me, damn it!
It's still real to Braxton, damn it. Considering the situation by comparison may help. Some apologists have framed this evidence with an analogy. If 99 people in the village... What's that, Zach?
It's always framed with a fucking analogy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
never simple. It's never straight facts. It's, hey, let me tell you a little pithy story. Do you believe yet?
Yeah. Here's my witness testimony. My eyewitness testimony.
And I know it's from a third person, but it's totally eyewitness testimony.
If 99 people in a village claim to have met a particular man, person Q, and only one individual, person S, claims that person Q does not exist, which is more likely to be true? Should we believe the 99 villagers are wrong about the existence of person Q, or is it reasonable to assume that person S is mistaken? Person S might demand that person Q does not exist because he's never seen him, heard his voice, or met him at all. However, no thinking person would accept that person S is correct about person Q on the basis of this evidence. If 99 people claimed to have met person Q and could tell powerful stories of experiences they'd had with him, then it stands to reason that person S is merely overly skeptical.
He's just overly skeptical.
Perfect.
Oh, do you know what I need? There's a Ray Comfort clip that I love to play, right? And he says you might call it analytic perfectionism, and you may have it. You're just overthinking everything. Stop overthinking everything. Just believe like a child believes their father. Just fucking believe like a little child. And that's what he says. Literally, believe like a little child believes their daddy. And that's all this is. It's like, come on. All these people think this. Why would you disagree with all of them? And it's like, all right, then. We're talking about some knobhead in a village, right? How is that the same as God? Because
it's not the same as God.
The situation is similar, but we can prove a person exists without him being there. You can have his passport and show it. You could have all sorts of documentation. There's other things. Also, they say that God is outside time and space and is unknowable to people. Is person Q outside time and space and unknowable to people? If not, I don't think it's a very apt analogy.
No. I don't believe so either.
Yeah, but also, is there like another town, the next town over, that says actually person Q is from the town? And actually, he doesn't wear a brown coat and a red hat. He actually wears a green coat and a blue hat. Like, that would be more apt, that there's a bunch of villagers that all believe different things, but it's all kind of the same guy. Really? I mean, if you look at it sideways with your eyes squinted from across the road, and like if you went to a different school. You know what I mean?
If person S is being overly skeptical about person Q. And everybody says they exist, and they expect you to believe that he exists and do things that certainly feel like you are basically in an enslavement, some variation of authoritarian enslavement.
Yeah.
And person Q is the one that told you to be in that situation. And you have a complaint, maybe, or maybe you'd like some assistance, or you see something that's say something territory. Hey, I think I'm going to need a military. Shouldn't I go consult with person Q? And nobody seems to provide person Q for you. We're talking about a different scenario, or a similar scenario to the Bible.
And like every Sunday, every Monday, right? Everyone in the town meets up. All the other 99 people in the town all meet up, right, in this building, and they all praise person Q and lay worship to him, right, and collect money for him. But he's never there. Never. They've made statues to him being tortured and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I think it's a scam. Person Q, if 99 people haven't actually met him, they just tell you about their experiences of imagining from the stories that somebody told about person Q. And you don't buy these stories because it kind of looks like the village is going bankrupt, giving all their money to the village that seems to be prospering over somewhere yonder, called the Vatican City, perhaps. Somebody's
come in the middle of the night and steal your children.
Somebody is, clearly, if you start investigating and they start bad mouthing you and ridiculing you for looking into it, and you come back and you say, well, I investigated it, and the voice of reason says that person Q is actually a scam.
Well, that's what.
Oh, no. We accept that the person Q is legitimate. On this faith and our open hearts and our warm hearts. You can't say that about person Q. No, I went and investigated. Person Q is a scam from a long time ago. A lot of people have believed in person Q.
Taking this analogy far too far, right? Because the whole point of this analogy is to fucking blindside you and not blindside you, is to put the blinders on you so you don't see all the rest of the shit. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point of every fucking thing that's being said in this book is to narrow your vision a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, so you don't look over here and you don't look over there, right? So you don't look at this bit and you don't look at this bit, because right now we don't want to talk about evolution, and right now I'm not a sciencey guy, but right now I want to talk about quantum, but right now it doesn't matter. Right now we need to talk about this. Right now it's never about looking at everything together. It's about taking very small pieces of stuff and then fucking putting them together in different ways, trying to say the same fucking thing. It's so fucking ridiculous. And so much of arguing against Christianity to me is bunk, right? Because it's playing their game. Too much of us arguing against them, I feel, is playing their game. We have a bunch of shit in our favor they want us to ignore. And that's why they're trying to make you engage in pointless exercises and thought experiments, because they don't want you to do, and they don't want you to think about the actual reasons things may be. Let's just guide you over here. It's much fucking easier.
Let me ask you one simple question. Did person Q tell you to seek and find? And if person S seeks and finds and doesn't find person Q, then this analogy is exactly the scenario of the skeptic. The skeptic does have right to say, I've sought and found, but I didn't find out that person Q is in existence. So yes, overly skeptical person S, when they seek and find for person Q, they have every right to be overly skeptical. I don't care how many people exist that say person Q exists. Person S went and sought, went and found, and they found out that it was a scam. Differences. Go ahead.
Differences in experience. Furthermore, all the
I'm going to go grab a tasty beverage, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Furthermore, all the multitudes of people throughout human history who believe that they have experienced God, if only one of them correct, then he does exist. The same can be said of those who feel they have personally come to know Jesus Christ. Conversely, it is not true that if only one of them is wrong, then God does not exist. A similar analogy can be made to make this point clearer. Instead of the village, let's consider the island of Nassau in the Bahamas. Imagine a situation where many people claimed that Nassau didn't exist. However, there were millions of people who have claimed to have set foot on Nassau, but were mistaken. Maybe they had indeed been onto other islands that they mistook for Nassau. One man, though, had indeed been to the actual island of Nassau and declared it to the world. He would be amongst the throngs who have claimed to have walked on the beaches of the place, but as long as he is indeed correct, then Nassau's existence is sure, even if all the other Nassau believers are wrong. His presence would then mean it was certain. Have you seen the averages? Right? It only takes one of them to be correct. And if there's so many, then it means that it's more likely that only one of them has to be correct. So then it's definitely mine, because Jesus, like, oh my fucking God, like, the fluff that has to be put in to stretch this shit out to, well, some people have experienced God, right? And it doesn't matter if they don't all point to my God, the idea that God would go to other people, give them experiences, and not explicitly say, hey, by the way, it's Jesus, is ludicrous, because, like I said before, all it does is feed into the delusion about the wrong religion, and because of that, well, then it leads them to go to hell, doesn't it? Because God is then forcing them to believe the wrong thing, because he's reinforcing their belief in the wrong God. It's almost like, as me, the atheist, goes, hey, by the way, I want Jesus to turn up and tell me that he's real, right? Well, then he should be able to fucking turn up and tell me that he's real. If he's going to turn up to all these other people, well, then he should be able to fucking turn up to me and say it as well.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fact that he can't, and he can to all these other people, is suspect. It's almost like the people that, like, really, really already fervently believe, feel like all these bits of fervor and bits of, like, fucking priming from music and different shit to make them feel shit. And I don't, because I don't know, maybe I'm not part of those experiences. And even when I do I don't, like, God isn't there. So I'm not expecting to feel exaltation, so I don't, because he isn't there. Because that's how that works. It's like a placebo for your brain.
Placebo for your brain.
It has become popular among atheists to point out that Christians are also atheists when it comes to the thousands of other gods and other religions of the world. And that's a really dumb statement. I hate it when atheists say that. They're not atheists to the other gods. They just don't believe they exist. That's not atheistic. I hate it when people say that shit. Atheist means no gods, not just that God. It's like that I've told it on here before, that some guy's going through Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and, gets pulled over by some militant faction, and they're not, they're all kitted out and they got no fucking insignia on, and they pull up and they go, "Are you Protestant? Are you Catholic?" And you go, "Well, I'm an atheist." And they go, "Is that Protestant atheist or Catholic atheist?" Right?
I heard that joke recently.
Nada, zilch. It doesn't mean all but one. That would be monotheism. I hate that shit. Sorry, go on.
I don't use that one very often, but it is, you do need to use that as a point to point out that there, especially if you're using some variation of a confirmation bias or a circular reasoning.
Right, but I don't think it's like, one, I don't think grammatically it's correct, because it's not what atheist means, and two,
right.
I think saying that is as stupid as when a Christian says to me, "A fool says in his heart there is no God."
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's as stupid as that. Like,
that's the thing. I think Romans 1, when they say a fool says in his heart there is no God, is that the Hebrews? Which one is that one?
It was the first one you said.
And it's Romans 1. Okay.
But the thing is, right, is like when we say, well, you believe in no other gods but this one, they go, well, duh, otherwise I wouldn't be a Christian. Like, like, we see it as revealing, but of course they're not going to, right? I don't know. I really hate it when atheists say that.
Yeah. It's not one of my favorites either.
Because I've heard a lot of
I think when I heard it, like, what's his name? Dawkins and it was like they were sitting in a chapel or some sort. Rick Gervais.
Yeah.
We're sitting in, and that was the first time I had heard it, and I thought it was kind of clever. And I told that one to my dad, but I don't think I've used it since.
No, see, I've never. It's always bugged me. Because I think if we're talking about the essence of being, of existence, and whether there's a spirit that controls that, I think short, pithy answers for either side are really dumb and should never be accepted because the short, pithy answers.
Yeah, I am always
short and pithy is never the answer.
I am always asking for the evidence. I believe that if there is a such thing as a spirit, that you need to provide evidence that there is a such thing as a spirit. I don't care if they're invisible, because there's also a such thing as an evil spirit. And if you tell me that there's a spirit and it led the Bible, then it also has a possibility that the evil spirit version of that spirit did the same thing. And if it put anything into the hand or the mouth or the words of the writer, then you would then be deceived. So, that is forevermore my ask of any Christian. That is what you need to provide. If you tell me there's a such thing as a spirit, great. Prove that the evil version of that being didn't do something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because, like, it's good. I think it's good for two reasons. It's a question they wouldn't be expecting, so it's got to set him off on the back foot. And two, it's like, fucking disprove it, right?
No.
Because, like, it shouldn't be that hard. You do it every day, right? It should be the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have a car that won't start, there is a you start going down, checking off the list on what's causing my car not to start. Am I using the key? Is maybe the a sequence of pressing on the brake. If you have a clutch, like I do, did you engage the clutch? Is the battery charged? Is the key's battery fob operating? You go through those sequences to figure out if something's not working. You go through a sequence on what's causing it not to work. And it should be the same thing for good spirits, bad spirits, Jesus, and Satan.
Yeah. Statements like this might make great bumper sticker sermons for atheists, but they represent an argument that is truly flawed. The point that the atheist is trying to make that there are so many religions in the world making conflicting claims about the Creator that they all must be false. Yet surely this does not follow. Just because there are many false religions does not mean that there is not a single valid one. See, to me, that is the actual real essence of that, and I don't think people play off that enough. I think it's too much played off as, well, you don't believe in all the other ones, right? But my point is why isn't it all the other ones?
So
just because we think now that it isn't doesn't mean that it is. So, like, why isn't it the Greek gods? Why isn't it the Roman gods? Why isn't it the Mesopotamian gods? Why isn't it Baal? Like,
I mean, if we're going to talk about these other guys, we need to really talk about me. So last Thursday, did you and Michael Beverly and Braxton Hunter talk about me at all?
No.
Oh.
Well, actually, no. We talked about you a little bit.
Oh, take to stars. Okay. All right. We can continue on with the Skepticus stuff.
That is the most delayed narcissistic reaction I've ever seen. Wait, 10, 20 minutes later. Wait. Did you talk about me?
What you, wearing anything revealing for your revealing? I'm feeling extra vulnerable.
Oh, it should be special. It should be special. As is the case with Nassau, there may be many individuals who genuinely but incorrectly believe that they have been to the island. But we would never say that, therefore, no one has ever been to Nassau. Instead, it is likely that if there are billions of people who claim to experience God but are incorrect how they describe him, then he does exist. Just because a lot of people did it wrong doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people have experienced God wrong, but that just further actually makes my point.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Oh my goodness.
So, some of them are just misinterpreting their experiences of him.
Wow.
Shouldn't the all-knowing be more clear and know actually how to reach them more? But hey, if God didn't fuck up, it's them. God came to them and gave them the message perfectly that they could understand. They just didn't seem to get it.
If God needs a holy Bible, if Jesus needs a holy Bible, here's my suggestion for God and Jesus is right now they could hop on a YouTube channel. They can make it at any time.
Man,
with a verified heavenly signal coming from a verified place, not of this world. At any time.
Yeah. They could have done it at any time in the past 5,000 years.
I am easily textable, callable, emailable, and computerized anything-able.
No,
Zoom.
Jimmy, you're just not doing it right.
I know.
That's the thing, right?
But so is Braxton.
Oh, is he?
And he's doing it right.
Yes. Because his daddy gave him a fake university.
Yeah, he's got
no, it's not fake. It's not fake. It's faux.
It's genuine imitation.
Genuine imitation university. I wish I would have had that for Thursday. Oh, that would have been amazing. I've made it in the genuine imitation.
Genuine.
All right. As this is consistent with Christian belief, to say the least. As Christians, we maintain that God reveals himself to all genuine seekers of truth. I know I've been seeking the truth for many years. He hasn't revealed fucking word one to me. But I guess I'm not a genuine seeker enough. I always love how it always comes down to you're not pure enough in some way. You're doing it wrong. You're not right. Whatever. Like, God's perfect. Well, if God's perfect, motherfucker, you know what? Do you know what, Jim? Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Jimmy? Do you know what's great?
What's great?
I pray to God genuinely once a month.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I genuinely do. Do you know why? Because I want him to fucking say something to me and respond. Like, go on. Fucking, I want to believe. Like, make me believe. I ain't gonna believe that, I'm going through a hard time, and when I go outside, I see a leaf cross the road because of a stray, and there's no wind, and I go, that's God moving that leaf, and it's telling me that it's time to leave. Like, what? People make stupid connections. And that's why, like, psychic thinkers work, psychic fucking fraudsters work, because people make weird connections, right? So if they're expecting God to tell them something and God doesn't speak to them directly, they see inconsequential actions to mean whatever they want the answer to be. And they go, God spoke to me. It's a religious experience.
I need you to judge whether or not I pray once a month as well. For some reason, every once in a while, I'll just be walking along, singing a song, and on occasion it'll be, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Is that praying to God? Asking for a friend?
I mean, you know, if I listen to certain preachers, that is 100% a prayer. So, you know, maybe you're on firmer ground, I suppose. You know, here's me just at home doing Matthew 6 in, you know, the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6 on my own, not in front of people and not to show off, just to talk to the Lord, because the Lord already knows what's inside my mind. I'm approaching him on his terms, you see. I'm doing
Beautiful.
what Jesus said, and I'm still not hearing fuck all. So, oh well. I guess those scientific experiments really do show you show you the truth of matters. It's weird. I've spent like the last, I say, couple of years praying to different gods intermittently, and nothing ever happens.
Nothing.
Everything remains exactly the same. In fact, the world gets worse. So if anything, if I should take this as actually God doesn't want me to seek him out, and in fact, every time I do seek him out, the world gets worse. So I should stop.
Yeah. And this all started because God reveals himself to all genuine seekers of truth.
Oh yeah, and you know, I've been
do it yourself mindfuck. What is that?
Well, you know, really, it's just
if they
it's true.
That's true. I love them. Those two are just the funniest bitches in the world.
Wow.
So passive aggressive to each other while speaking to angels. It's amazing. And they do that motion like the whole time. Have you never watched any of their videos?
No, I don't think so. Is it UK based?
No, they're like the two women from Florida, and they do this thing called spirit talking, where like they just like they say things, and it's kind of like tongues, but like in English. And then they start saying things, and like that video there is them actually trying to spirit talk to grass and the trees. Yeah, and then the one in purple always says, "That's true." It's like
That's true.
Like I've been fucked in every way possible.
Wow.
True.
Maybe that's what our next project should be, is we talk to angels.
Do you know,
I just affirm what it is you just received from an angel.
I'm loving angels instead.
Oh, that's true.
You know, power ballad. We'll power ballad it.
Yeah, power ballad.
You know, that's it, you know.
All I can think of is in the Nelsons. Can you take me high enough?
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
That's brilliant.
How brief mortal.
That's an interesting clip. I love it.
Oh, it's from Hogfather. Where the Grim Reaper could become Santa Claus.
Oh. Wow.
It's Discworld.
That's dark.
It's Discworld. Of course it's dark. Discworld is dark because all stories are dark. I love Discworld. Discworld is an essential read for anyone who likes fantasy.
All right. How much further do we have?
We have about 5 pages, if that.
Oh my goodness, we're not going to make it through.
Yeah, we are, because it's the fucking most of it's the layman shit, and we don't really read that because it's just reiterating itself. As Christians, we maintain that God reveals himself to all genuine seekers of truth. Thus, it is reasonable to assume that many Christians and non-Christians have had real experiences of the one true God. The problem, as a Christian understands, is that many non-Christians are misled by the existing religions of their own cultures and human sin. Nevertheless, the testimony of the world is that God exists. Yes, it is. It is one giant piss take, and it's amazing. Discworld's the best. That's why I'm covered in its tattoos. I want to issue a challenge to readers at this juncture. As we continue through the material in the subsequent chapters, open your mind up to the God whose existence has been demonstrated so far. Ask him to make the remaining facts clear and digestible for you. Struggle to remain open to his response. Genuine seekers have often reported that God has met this earnest endeavor with affirmation. You know,
Wow.
genuine seekers, not the seekers that don't find it, because they're not genuine, you see, because they didn't find them, and because they agree with me now, they're the genuine ones. And the ones that did seek it and don't, they didn't do it good enough. Because no true seeker! It's just the no true Scotsman.
It's a good Scotch.
It's just
Scotch,
you didn't do
accent.
it good enough for my liking, so you didn't do it. So, like, the whole reason, I'm going to play the clip again, the whole fucking reason I did this is because of his little passive-aggressive piece of shit thing. I know thingy's changed a little bit, but...
Can you name the last 3 academic books you read by theists on the subject? Or is most of your understanding of apologetics and atheism from non-scholarly pop-level books and, let's face it, Bible passages?
Bible passages.
I love that little
Bible passages.
Like, but the overall point is you don't read enough of my books, and he wasn't even talking about his specifically, but his side, right? So I decided to read his, but like that's not because like you ain't doing it good enough. It's never good enough until you believe like them 100%, and it's like even like that. Oh, they might come to God, but it's a different denomination or a different religion or whatever, right? He's only said religion. I'm just put a denomination in there because these people also say, like some of them will say the Catholics aren't real Christians, and some of them will say Protestants aren't real Christians, and blah 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 blah, right? So like. They can't even agree which ones are the real ones themselves.
So Bible passages I've definitely read. Ogmandino's The Greatest Salesman. Oh, that's amazing. That one's amazing. You should read it, Braxton.
Let's be fair to Braxton here. The facts, we haven't got on to the facts. We're still on the core. So we haven't gotten to the facts, you see. So... yeah, and it is him stroking himself.
Yeah, but the pump is primed. We're about to go.
Objection. Do you know what? It would sound like he was really making love to an overloved ripe piece of cheese.
What you wearing?
Ryan, call it objection. We're going to call moment.
Core moment.
Objection. These objections can get kind of technical. If you're a beginner, it might be a good idea to just focus on the actual evidence we've covered so far. I know we've only done evidence and we've only done arguments and no evidence. But hey.
Well, I'm looking forward to the facts then, because we're finally going to get to the evidence.
Do you always love how much these things are really technical? And I think all my readers are fucking morons. So just come back and read it later, bro. It's all right.
Beautiful.
Doesn't this just amount to taking it on faith without evidence? Technical stuff. What some skeptics want to say about a point like this is that when believers bring up their own personal experiences, they are just appealing to faith. And there is no way that we can know for sure whether another person's own experience are real or not. First, I pointed out at the beginning of this chapter that E does not amount to an argument for proof of God's existence. The 3 chapters accomplish that rather... I know I just said that you should believe it because there's
accomplish that objective,
it, right?
Yeah.
But I know, but don't worry, this one isn't saying that isn't an argument for God's existence, even though I know I've just spent a page and a half saying that the amount of people that believe in it, and actually the amount of people that even right now believe in a version of my God, shows how real it is, isn't an argument for God, though. So he isn't lying out of his ass about what a fucking argument is. What a fucking idiot. I fucking hate this disingenuous grifter cunt. Sorry, go on.
So the previous 3 chapters accomplish that objective. An argument for proof of God's existence. So an argument or proof to an argument or proof for God's existence. What does that mean? Argument isn't evidence. So trying to make it sound like he says that an argument is evidence, is that what he's trying to do?
No, I think I figured it out. I think he's overthought it. I think he thinks too much of, and I think this is part of his over-bloated ego, right? He doesn't realize that he's made an argument here. Either he's being entirely disingenuous, right? And he's trying to slip in an argument when he's saying it isn't to try and further convince people. You know that it's the nice con. You know what I mean? Either that, or he legitimately doesn't think that he hasn't made an argument because he hasn't pointed it out in a syllogistic form or some such, or it isn't a named argument. But then again, one of his objections that's coming up kind of points that he definitely knows that he's just made an argument. So,
Okay. Jeez.
rather, E is an invitation to seekers of truth to have an immediate personal experience of God and themselves. Immediate. I'd love an immediate. Why? So through this entire reading of E, so is when the stream fucked up. Is that the experience of God we were supposed to have?
Yeah, I felt it.
Nothing else weird's happened. The dog barked once. It's not weird. I took a lot of painkillers. I'm not in pain. It's not weird. Second, while I am forthright that this does not mount to an argument for God's existence, even though I've totally made one, this chapter does provide a piece of data that requires explanation. It's an argument without being an argument. I'm having my cake and eating it too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be in my next video. The answer to that question. Stay tuned, folks. My next video is coming soon. And I answer this question.
That's what we like to see. Real answers to real questions instead of, self-stroking, bloated nonsense pieces of shit books.
Yeah.
That's probably why he got so pissy, is because, he knows exactly how much of a piece of shit this book is.
Here, why don't we pull up my slide, and I'll answer that question with that slide. If I can find it, of course, because there's only 50. There's only 50.
Well, I'll continue reading, and when you find it, we'll put it on. This may not be an argument in any formal sense, but it clearly counts as evidence. See, he totally knows that he's making an argument. It's not a formal argument, you see, but it does count as evidence. But I thought evidence is an argument.
There you go.
I'll make you big. Don't worry. I'll make you big. I'll make it big, Jim. Come on.
There you go. Can you read that? Is it backwards?
The deception and anthememe.
Anthememe. Mm-hmm.
Anthememe. Once you unsee God in the world of God, only God can reclaim earnest. Definitely not the humans impersonating and or have fallen for the impersonation of God.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. That answers that. Next.
Did he get pissy with Michael during the end? Oh, he certainly got pissy with Michael during the interview.
Did you play any of your clips with the Scrubs?
No. I was being a moderating force. So you'll just have to see when it comes out. I don't know the date yet. He said he was edited in this week. So what about the ad populum fallacy? The ad populum fallacy states that appealing to what the majority of people believe as a way of establishing truth is inadequate. After all, at one time, the majority of people thought the Earth was the center of the universe with the sun that orbited around it. The majority of people were clearly wrong. When someone points to the multitude of religious experiences, atheists will often demand that the person has committed this fallacy. However, this is not what we've done. I've not done that, even though I've spent a page and a half saying, "Hey, hello, Andrew." I've not just spent like the last fucking, page and a half going, "Hey, lots of people believe in not just God but my God, or some version of my God." So it's more like fuck off. First, I have been clear that E is not an argument, but an invitation. You see, if I don't say it's an argument, then any comeback that treats it like one, well, then it doesn't work because it's more of that philosophy bullshit. right? Where when you argue with people that like philosophy, there's only a certain way to argue, and there's only certain schools of thought that can argue against certain things, and you can only argue in certain ways and say certain phrases against certain stuff. So, because he has not said it in a formal way, then you cannot retort with any formal retorts because he hasn't. So like it isn't the proper argument. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the reasons I fucking hate people that use philosophy because they do shit like this. Try and obfuscate what the fuck they're doing by playing when and when they aren't doing philosophical bullshit. I'm not claiming that the multitudes of the individuals who have claimed to have had experiences with God prove that God exists. What? I'm not saying that it proves God exists, but you can't explain it.
No, you can't explain it. Don't make me show you another slide.
I am presenting this fact about the world as a piece of data that requires explanation. Religious priming and religious dog whistles mixed with religious fucking brainwashing do wonders. There's your fucking explanation. Maybe next time I'll play some incidental music to make you feel a certain way.
Yeah. Close your eyes. Every now and then I get a little bit.
Atheist will answer in one way. Sorry, I was trying to do it over you singing. It was going to be more powerful.
Turn around.
The atheists will have it in one way, and the believer will answer it in a very different way. The question is, which is the more plausible explanation? I think there are two options. They are all mistaken.
Every now and then
they are generally interacting.
When I hold you tonight, and I hold you all forever.
Is that powerful for everyone? Is that powerful? Do you feel moved?
What you wearing?
Hey,
Something revealing for you revealing?
Like, I just love what. Hey, I'm not saying that it proves God. I'm just saying that out of the explanations that are there for it, I totally think that it is mine. So it's not an argument. So you can't argue against it back.
Of course not.
We're on the layman bit. Oh, we're almost done. We had a lot less pages than I thought.
I'll hit the transitioning presentation for the layman. What facilitators and trainers need to accomplish for students of E is merely that after hearing the arguments for C, O, and R, unbelievers should be encouraged to be open-minded to an experience of God in their own lives. Not much time needs to be spent at this point. The supplemental material... I almost had it. I just needed more of you to clap on Thursday when you were almost talking about me just briefly.
Hey, no, we don't know. No.
Clap like you mean it. When Tinkerbell comes back to life.
We talked about you more than briefly, sir.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I just forgot. I forgot what, I meant you got mentioned a few times, because you were the nice one, remember?
I'm the nice. I am so nice.
And you're the nice guy.
All right.
I say naughty words like poop.
Yeah. You didn't need to get the sound effects bar out and hit the oogas and the horns and the harps and the
poop.
The air horns or anything like that, or
sorry, I just have to pick a fight. No, not a fight.
Gonna pike a fight.
What?
Yeah, philosophical stuff's much like libertarian stoner. Thoughts, yeah, sure, they sound great, but once you apply them to reality, it all falls apart. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm just a speck of dust on my fingernail, man.
You know, like
it's
unicorn.
like my fingernail grows and grows and grows until I lop it off.
Black man naked?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Right. I watched too much How High.
Not much time needs to be spent at this point. The supplemental material that comprises most of this chapter is provided only to help skeptics see that there is nothing unreasonable or superstitious in doing this.
Just believe in all our superstitions.
Really? Nothing unreasonable or superstitious in doing this? Nothing?
You know,
nothing?
There was that weird one bit where it says to cut off your foreskin. It's not unreasonable. Come on, lads.
Yeah.
Lads, it's not unreasonable. Just a little bit, of cutting. Little bit of cutting. Lads, it's fine. Do you ever think that, like, back in the day, right, when they was like making this religion, they said, this religion will make it treat the women really badly, but we'll cut off the foreskins off the babies to make it look like, well, the guys get punished too, right? So it's not that bad. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite understand the obsession with foreskin snipping.
Well, you know, you gotta show that you're from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, when you get your dick out, they've got to know where you're from. You got to let them know.
I must admit,
every time I see a circumcised penis, I say,
as someone who's not circumcised, being the schmagma factory that I can be.
Damn. That's an admission on the internet right
there. There might be medical benefits to having your foreskin snipped, and probably, you know, back when hygiene times weren't, you know, when you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, Appalachian Trail, you find just how much of a schmagma factory and how much of foreskin or lack thereof could be beneficial.
The problem is that almost none of that is true. You were so much better with your foreskin; it's unbelievable. Foreskin stops spread of certain cuts the transmission of certain STDs. The penis does eventually self-clean. It's one of the reasons we get smegma is actually people jerk off a lot more than they like to admit and don't clean themselves properly, and that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
And also, it does affect sex. And it can affect people in different ways. And none of them are good.
None of them are good.
So some of them feel sensation. Some of them feel heightened sensation to the fact that you become a two-pump chump. Like, it's not good. A lot of people don't realize it because they have it done young. So I actually had like a weird fucking medical thing where I had to have mine taken off a few years ago, and the difference is noticeable, and it was not pleasant.
Interesting.
Like, it's bad in so many ways.
Well, I'm glad I have mine then.
Yeah. It also they depending on how they fucking restitch it up, it can be very painful.
Cool.
Well, or you could be like the poor little Jewish boys that had, because so when you're a Hasidic Jew, they don't use a knife. They bite it off.
That's funny. P.S. You are so damn funny. That's hilarious. The more you know.
I do have that somewhere.
Oh,
there, it's right there. I can go.
Wow. Perfect.
So I said I was going to play this more. So
If you found out today, to your satisfaction, that Christianity were true, would you accept God's authority, repent of your sins, and trust Jesus as your king?
but all these little acidic boys, they get the foreskin bitten off, and then they get the moils, the cod moils. They suckle the blood afterwards. And there's been several cases. I know of a couple in the New York area in specific.
Yeah, I heard about 20 years ago there was
like
some
gonorrhea
variation of
to like babies.
giving children herpes and
all sorts. It's
gonorrhea.
not cool. Hey, because we're doing things for the Lord.
Yeah.
I suppose Braxton would say they're Jewish, so if they're not, so that's why it's going wrong. Because they're not doing it for Jesus. You have to do it. You have to do it like they do it in America, when you just do it to most of the little baby boys that are born, because they think that it will please the women later on in life. Isn't it just prettier without a foreskin? That foreskin's so fucking ugly. The whole thing's ugly. You're picking on one bit.
Yeah. Where was I? Not much time needs to be spent on this point. The supplemental material that comprises most of this chapter is provided only to help skeptics see that there is nothing unreasonable or superstitious in doing this. Of the utmost importance is the clear invitation from the believer to engage this God in a fair and open-minded way. If a trainer does see the benefit of conveying the data regarding individuals who claim to have experienced God throughout history and geography, he may proceed in the following way. He might ask students to try and name a people group or culture which began as an atheistic society. He might ask them to name a geographical location on which the belief in God has never been found. Once it becomes clear that these questions receive only negative answers, he is in the position to then ask, is it unreasonable then to remain open to the possibility that people have actually had genuine experiences of God? Question mark. Quote.
I mean, like, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, so like, hey, it's fucking... I always love how we've got to compare God, which is supposed to be outside time and space, infinite in all ways that are logically possible, but we're going to compare them to, like, Nassau, or, like, a village of 100 people. Like, these things are real, and I don't just mean, like, real as in, like, oh, God's fake. I mean, like, they live in reality and not outside the universe. They live in the same universe that we live in. They share all the same rules and things that we do, whereas God does not. So we have to compare this thing that is finite to something that is infinite and unknowable, and go, well, that makes the unknowable knowable. I never understand that. If God's so unknowable when it's useful, then why am I supposed to, like, anytime you go, well, God's like this, and God's like this, and God's like this, well, how the fuck do you know? He's unknowable. If he's unknowable, you're making it up.
Yeah, there's always the argument that, much of the Native American had some variation of the earth was their mother type of belief. More like we're in a womb.
Yeah.
Receiving earth. Not that there is a God that created us.
I mean,
we're in a developmental process as humans. A little bit more to the Native American, and maybe even some of the Australian, is it pygmy population? The natives. Some of the natives in Africa.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Areas where missionaries have not yet gotten. There are plenty of people who see a cycle of life, and they don't regard it as necessarily the God that Braxton is referring to it. So, in history class, this child who has just been given this scenario It's kind of a rigged question.
Well, of course it is. That's the whole point of any Christian argument and any Christian point. Is the whole thing is tried to be rigged as much as possible, so they think that you can't have any comebacks. That's the whole point of everything they do. That's why they get obsessed with philosophy and argumentation.
Because once he has illustrated this point to the class, he can encourage them to use the same method with particularly difficult skeptics.
I bet
the primary statement that believers should be instructed to make is, you can have an immediate experience of God by genuinely seeking him with an open mind today.
Okay. But I have done this entire time. I pray monthly.
Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz?
I've offered myself up to Lord on multiple occasions through the entire time of me being an atheist, and wholeheartedly as it is. And even when I've been a down and out fucking homeless bum in the worst places possible, and you know what? Things didn't get better until much later. And it wasn't because of God; it was because of me.
Yeah.
They fucking.
Yes.
I always hate this. If you just open enough, God will come. Well, I've been pretty fucking open, right? God doesn't come to me. He doesn't talk to me. He doesn't say, "Hey, chum, son, come with me and do these things, and you will be holy, and the world will become open to you." Or, "Hey, how you doing? How's kicks? How's it hanging? You know what you've been up to? You watched any good films? You know, like nothing."
David Attenborough's Ocean documentary. I watched that last night.
Well,
that was
yes,
a good film.
that's because that's the true Lord, right? Just a second. I'll put this on now. Where is he? Where's my Lord? There we are. Because that was our true Lord and Savior, Sir David Attenborough, reaching through the TV screen and filling your light with hope and joy for the future. Very depressing imagery of how we're destroying the world. And not giving us hope that one day we might be able to, in fact, fix it. If we do, in fact, follow his way and his Father's way, he is above, enlightens us.
Ramen.
Yeah. Wait, just a second. That's all. It's next to it, and I should tell
about if they.
Namely, they will be prepared.
Whoa! I've got
What?
BS is asking important questions. I asked God to come in me. Well,
oh my.
well, have I?
Hey, Jesus.
Hey,
Zach, surprised to hear from you. Well, you know, I was kind of bored. I was just sitting around.
So I think I've got down on my knees enough for Jesus.
You dirty whore. You
scarlet
letter of Jesus.
I bent over. I cried. I bit the pillow. He went in dry.
Wow. So that A is for adultery or something else?
My anus. Well, the full version is on my OnlyFans.
The name on your shown into your shirt is for my anus. Brilliant. Namely, the aimless.
All right, yeah, go on.
Namely, they will be prepared for the evidence in favor of the resurrection of Jesus. Where did the resurrection of Jesus come in?
No, he's linking it to the second half of the book. That's all.
Oh my! Oh my!
So he's giving you three arguments, right? He's giving you three arguments. If you ask nicely enough, then we don't have to pay at all.
Conclusion. In this chapter, I have invented individuals to be open-minded Oh, it's invited. Invited individuals to be open-minded enough to have an immediate experience of God. It has been made clear that this is not really an argument. This is a personal appeal. However, we have considered how trainers and facilitators might best express this point to learners. We also contemplated the facts that individuals claiming to have experienced God is a norm for the human race. Therefore, there is nothing uncommon or out of step with the times that being open-minded is in this regard. Ultimately, the most important message of this chapter is that you can have an immediate experience.
Sorry, I was drinking. Experience
Of God by genuinely seeking Him with an open mind today. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Sorry.
Well done. Well done, Braxton.
Do you know what? No. I can't clap because my hands are broken. All the backslapping that I've already been doing to him. So I can't do it further. And fuck his question. So, hey, are you ready? I wish I had the music, but I don't. You need the DX. Are you ready? You know, like, are you ready for the facts? You ready for Jesus?
I'm ready.
You ready for Jesus?
Yeah. The altar call music.
I mean, the past few episodes you've been raring to get onto these facts, and we've blasted through E today. So we're onto those facts next. Are you excited? You've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for the facts.
You've been waiting for the facts. The facts are coming. The facts are going to come. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for you, Jimmy. They're going to come. They're going to come.
I can't wait.
Hard, Jim. They're going to come hard. Real hard.
Wow.
Real hard facts coming.
Jesus' resurrection. Here it comes. I can feel it. I can feel it in Jesus' wooden bone.
Do you know he's gonna pump those facts right in you, and you're gonna believe.
If you found out today, to your satisfaction, that Christianity were true, would you accept God's authority, repent of your sins, and trust Jesus as your King?
You ready? You ready to trust Jesus as your King? Because these calls weren't meant to teach us anything about His Lord and Savior, even though the entirety of E was about how many people believed in His God. You ready to believe? I'm ready to believe.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You are gonna have stuff to do.
I got stuff to do. I'm gonna
play it out. So if you have anything to say it now.
Bow tie blessed you all.
Forever hold your peace until next Tuesday.
I think my video should have played next that I've been working on. I should have had it ready for the end of that chapter because it's very fitting to answer most of the questions within there.
Well, then we'll play it at the start of the next one.
There we go. Yeah. Hopefully. I don't think I'm going to be done by the start of the next one, but maybe if we are, then I might do a premiere prior to this show and then just
lead into
wallow on over here.
Yeah. Well, let me know.
Okay.
And then we'll let people know, and we'll let all of you know. So I'm going to say I might be streaming either Thursday or Friday because I didn't stream on Monday.
The missus is going to be out of town a lot the next 2 weeks. So I can go later next Tuesday or earlier next Tuesday. If it's going to be nice, I also might cancel on you and play golf instead.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I'm every once in a while I go play golf. I play golf about 5 times a year, and next Tuesday has been suggested as one of them. So,
well, let me know earlier than the day if possible.
Yeah. I'll probably know a couple days before.
Yeah, cool.
We'll probably firm up plans Saturday or Sunday.
Fair enough. Well, he'll let me know, and then we'll both let you know.
Okay.
So that's this.
Bow tie blessed all.
I'll play us out, and
okay.
I should have a video out tomorrow, and then I might stream Thursday or Friday. So
I had a closing video that I wanted to play, but this computer is not logged into Instagram, and it's saved on Instagram. So, We'll have to play it another time. I'll have to download it and just do it that way.
Yeah. Well, since it's become a fan favorite.
Hey.
Hey.
Jesus?
Hey,
Zach. Surprised to hear from you. Well, you know, I was kind of bored. I was just sat around and I was thinking of you. Really? Well, of course. I always am.
How's it going?
You still there? Yeah, just blushing. Heart's gone all flutter. I just wanted to say. You go first. I love you. I love you too. Hey, Jesus. Can I ask you something? Of course, my son. What are you doing? You know, just revealing stuff. You know, like what are you wearing? Something revealing for revealing? Yeah. I mean, you know me. Something light, some light and airy, simple white linen. How about you? Yeah, just a cross. Seems like my father being a carpenter has really taught me how to erect wood. Seems a breeze has really caught my linen. Really only being held on by the wood I have erected. Really? Yeah. Jesus, I have a sin to atone for. I appear to be touching myself. Come unto me, my son. For it is okay.
Thank you, fuck you, bye, boom.